Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Rev Talk. This is Reverend Beverly and Reverend Kim. We would like to talk today, or I would like to talk about what are we going to do in 2022? What's important to you, to your family, to the world? What do you think are the doors to be open for 2022 for you?
So you're asking me?
I'm asking you.
Ah, deer in the headlights. Oh, I thought you were going to keep going. What do I want to do? Well, I've started doing some, and of course, knowing myself, I have to really ease into it. But I've been doing exercises, first thing in the morning, and I've continued to do that. So it feels weird, and I've not done them. That's kind of my thing, is where I'll just just one day, I'll just give myself a day, and then it goes all that. But I haven't even needed to do that, so I've stuck with that, which is good. And I've kind of gone into wanting to keep myself healthier and look for healthier choices and supplements, that kind of thing. But on the more spiritual, I'm kind of having a tough time lately of trying to focus on where I want to go and where I want where I want us to go with this.
Right.
That's been kind of a tough one that I need to sit with, I think, and of course this time of year is not necessarily the best for me. I'm sure it's for a lot of people. It's hibernation time, which is good. And that's the other thing too, though, that I was reading. Who was it that I was reading that about uncluttering?
Oh, yes. We need to spiritual declutter as well as physical in spring, but it's spiritual decluttering now.
Well, I've been decluttering physically, like on a small scale, just some things, that I want to kind of get out of the way, which it does feel good when you've cleared a spot, or you've cleared, an area that's like, oh, that actually feels kind of good. So I get that whole energy shift thing. It's kind of tough to do a little bit in the winter, but I'm working on that.
Well, like in the spiritual decluttering, the comments were, how many decks of cards do you have? How many do you use? How many do you really need? Should you pay it forward and give it to somebody? Should you just put it to a pile for later? And I started looking at, and my God, I went through my calendar last year to look at the good things that had happened. There wasn't a week last year that didn't go by that I wasn't doing something with Angels Teach. And that led me to believe I'm going in all different directions. I'm not pinpointing what it is my true spiritual path is. I'm trying everything from crystals to oils to mediation to medication to just all different variants, and purple halo, which is ACIM. And it's just like they all have little bits that I like and I want to adhere to. I'm drowning in everything. So I've realized I need to step back, take time for me, and listen to myself. And that's what I really want to do now. I'm going to finish this class in February. And then I've already taken a human design class, which I'm going to see now if I can extend that, so I can just sit and see. I haven't had a chance to work with my crystals. I haven't had a chance to work with my oils. And yet I have stacks of books and stacks of notes that I want to do. And I need to go through everything and declutter it, organize it, and see where my true path lies. And I think the downtime is right now before spring. Because when spring hits, then, then everything starts anew and we're growing and building and finalizing for the following fall. So the rhythm of the seasons is with us right now to take time for us, to let us decide what we need to do and grow. And I think Rev Talk is right there because this is exactly what we're doing. We're talking on a human level, week to week, of daily garbage that comes in, that we're allowing it to go out so we can keep going forward. And I think we can be help to others as they listen, because they're going to get a snippet and they're going to say, oh, that's me. Oh, yes, I need to do that. And that's what I think our objective is. And I think we can continue to do that.
I like that. I like that a lot. Thank you for that, because that helped. That helped me, because I was questioning that. I was
Right.
questioning all of that. So what was coming up as you were talking about all of the classes that you were taking last year and all. So a question is, are you unknowingly, unwittingly, unconsciously, whatever, distracting yourself by doing all these different classes to avoid like that focusing in on that one?
Yes. And that's what I've realized. I am taking all these classes trying to see if I can find my true path, find where I'm really meant to be, when all I need to do is sit with myself and the answers are there. And I see it. I see it, and it's a matter of doing it and self-doubting yourself.
Oh,
You just have to be at peace with yourself. And that's what's 2022 is. There's a quote that tells us, challenges will help us move forward. And this is what we have to do. We cannot live an authentic lifestyle anymore. We have to be true to ourselves in 2022. And that's what it's telling me. It's time to step up, but step up to the authentic you. Not the one that I've been studying and think I should do, or what I should follow, or what I should say, but come back to me. Come back to my spirituality within myself that's one with God.
That's awesome. Yes. And yes, that is bang on.
So it all comes full circle if you just take the time. And that's hard.
This time. I don't know where I got this. And I don't know if we were talking about this before or not, but it's a matter of there actually is, we do, I think it was last week, I think we were talking about this. We do have enough time. There is always enough time.
That's right.
That's
right.
Time
is on the physical level. Time is an eternity.
Right.
So there is time.
There is always enough time. And once I can get that into my head, or anybody else can get that into that, it's very, very freeing it kind of takes the pressure off. Like there is enough time. There's always enough time.
I always remember a story of a friend of mine that was asking the angels, oh, please get me to my destination on time. I'm 20 minutes late, but I've got to get there on time because are going to follow behind if I don't make it. And she just kept praying and praying and driving. She was there 5 minutes early. And yet there was no physical way she could have made that space. But that's what it reminds me of. There is time. You put the limits on your own time.
Right.
So there is always time. That's very, very true.
And it is. I do like the fact that, and I have to remind myself of that. And when I'm listening to doctor's dictation all day long, and listening to the patients. And it's funny how, people get stuck in a certain mindset about their health or about, anything. I mean, I listen to them and they, oh, well, I'm old, so this is what I'm to be expecting. Why? Why? In one instance, somebody says, oh, you're only as old as you think you are, and it's only a number. And that's a surface thing to say, because beneath that, what we've been told, is always that, okay, well, you're going to get old and this is how it's going to be, and yada, yada. Why? Is that really true? Or is it because we are such powerful beings, it doesn't have to be true? So we have to break that cycle to say, I am perfect health. I am. Or whatever works. But it is interesting. And like you had said before about finding patterns and going back to like Akashic records to break those patterns. That is interesting work to be doing. And I guess that falls in line with, getting to know your authentic true self.
That's exactly right.
Your records tell it all. Everybody can access them. I'm not real good at accessing them, but I'm pretty sure it's an easy thing to do if I set my mind to it. But there is that. I mean, it's all laid out there for us.
We are an open book. It's a matter of how much we want to see.
Ooh, that's good.
And are we ready to see it yet? So those are just steps that we're taking as we go forward.
Ooh, that's good.
And the more we see, the more we learn.
And in that same line, as far as being an open book and how much we want to see or don't want to see, we're the only ones seeing it. So stop being so hard on yourself. It's just you seeing it. Nobody else has to know. Nobody. You don't have to share it with anybody. It's just you, and God. It's you and your angels. It's you and just that book. And it's just you. So let go of the judgment of yourself and the self-recriminations and the, beating yourself up and oh my, that there's none of that. There's none of that.
There is no judgment. And once you realize that, there's only love. No matter what you've done, there is no judgment.
Right. And there are no mistakes.
That's right.
It's all written out there for you to see and to absorb and to say, oh yeah, let's move on from there. And exactly. I love that. I love that idea. I love that being able to view and again, you're safe because it's just you looking at your book. You're safe.
And that eliminates, I don't know how, how you're always afraid of what somebody's going to say if you do this or you do that. There's none of that. There's no self-doubt, self-righteousness. It's just you and the book. And there's nothing else. Right. And when you realize that, it is very simple to follow those records.
I love that. I love that.
See, that's another area I want to go into, but I am staying where I am right now because it intrigues me.
Well, and again, and here's the thing with that too, to kind of free that up is it's not going anywhere. It's always there. It's always there and waiting and ready for whenever you're ready to view, whenever. So, pressure off. It's not like you have to jump in and do that. And it's the same with anything else. It's not going anywhere. It's waiting for you when you're ready. If that's where you choose to go, it's all good. It's all good. Whatever your choices are, whichever direction you want to take, or not at all at this point. Don't take anything, just let's simmer. Let's percolate a little bit.
There you go. That simmering and percolating, because what you're doing is you're becoming one with it.
Right.
And you are, for lack of a better word, healing and forming the new you.
Well, like we said last week, the card was hibernating and healing.
There you go.
So it's just a continuation of doing that. The hibernating and the healing is not just two words. It actually is something, that we
Right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's what we need to do.
And it's a fresh year, so
yes,
putting a time frame on it, again, don't do it. You've got, again, you'll have all the time you need.
that's so true. That is so true. The statement that stuck out to me was on Angel's Teach message for today, and it said, 2022 is a time where we can begin to make changes for ourselves, changes that will help us move forward on our human journey. What we can do to make this is to be in the moment, allow life to work through us, understand life is not happening to us, but for us, regardless of what the human mind tells you. And then remember, there is always something else going on in that human mind, because it's constantly going, that it can't comprehend. Always. There goes my mother-in-law. She's coming upstairs. I may mute, so you take it from here.
That's okay. No, my gosh, no, I love that. And she's just a confirmation of what you just said. There's no interruptions per se. It is all divinely ordered and in divine timing. So if she's putting in her 2 cents, that's good. That is good. You're muted. You're still muted, dear.
Thank you for that.
Well, it's true. If she wants to put in her 2 cents, go for it, Azella. You go, girl. Really. She's just chiming in and confirming what you and I have been saying.
She's laughing, or she laughs when she goes, "Oh, you're on TV." Oh, no.
Oh, God love her.
So she stopped at the door.
Oh, she's so cute.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. God love her.
Oh.
Oh, my dear. So what do you think?
I think it's complete. There is just one more thing that it's said all the time. The universe has your back. If a door closes for you, trust there is something better coming. If something doesn't work out the way you want it to do, or you thought it should work out, trust the universe has your back and it knows what it's doing. That is the lesson I've been working on.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
It's just that all-encompassing faith, trust, and just knowing.
You surrender does not mean giving in or giving up. Surrendering just means allowing the universe to do what it is
To go with the flow.
supposed to do, and you go with it. If you go with the flow, life becomes a whole lot easier.
I always remember the story in one of my classes was it had a leaf flowing down the river and it would hit currents and then it'd go to the other side, but it was always in a forward motion. And as long as it didn't hit a turbulent or try to go to the side of the river, it flew just the way it was supposed to flow. And I always remember that leaf just going down the river. And that's what we have to be.
Yes.
Just go with the flow.
So that's our practice then for, at least for the week, to try and relax a little bit more and go with the flow and allow things to happen organically. And there's a lesson or there's something, a message in there somewhere.
And habits are hard to break, but they're also hard to make. For instance, if you had I'm going to exercise a little bit every day for the health of my body. If you do it for 21 days, it becomes a habit.
Well, and I've been doing it
You started before Christmas.
I did. It's been 2 months or so.
Very good.
And I enjoy it.
That's good. That's the most important thing in the world, to enjoy.
It's something,
It is.
It's better than I was. So, I'll take the win there.
It is a full win.
All right, my dear.
Take it away.
So thank you everyone for joining us. And remember, be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, and remember that without you, the song of the universe is incomplete. Until next week, my friends.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.